We're officially halfway through the 2023 MLB regular season, and the Toronto Blue Jays are currently 4th in the American League division. Many Toronto Blue Jays fans, myself included, have described this season as a roller coaster and not one that you want to keep waiting in line for. Even though the Blue Jays are still occupying a wildcard spot, this season has largely been looked at as a disappointment so far, considering the expectations that we had walking into this year. After all, I don't think anyone expected the Baltimore Orioles to be almost 5 games up in the standings. This feeling of disappointment isn't shared by everyone though, because if you believe what the Toronto Blue Jays GM Ross Atkins has to say, then everything is just fine. What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In this one, we're going to be looking at Ross Atkins' most recent comments and talking about how the media is reacting to them. Before we do, if you guys enjoy Toronto Blue Jays content, then I encourage you guys to smash that subscribe button. Our community is constantly growing and we would love for you guys to become a part of it. Alright folks, let's get into the video. Ross Atkins recently had a press conference on Wednesday, June 28th, and to say the media isn't too pleased with what he had to say might be an understatement. He uses a lot of words to say almost nothing. He lives in this rose-colored baseball world of make-believe that seemingly defies logic and reality. Sometimes you want to stop him mid-sentence and say, "Really? You believe that?" That was an excerpt from an article written by the Toronto Sun titled "Blue Jays GM Atkins Speaks a Lot of Jackie Gleason Balderdash Without the Humor." An article basically dedicated to bashing Ross Atkins and his most recent comments and calling him out for effectively saying nothing of substance at all. The article goes on to say that if inside the Jays front office there is satisfaction with the first half of the season, then there is even more reason to wonder about the Jays front office. There have to be concerns. There have to be doubts right now. There has to be tremendous concern about how this is a long list of concerns. Quality players and people have been so tremendously ordinary through the first 81 games. And they have a point. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize that this team has been underperforming and hasn't been hitting their potential, which then begs the question, why is the management talking about it like everything is fine and we're on track to win the World Series? Another phenomenal example of this is the comments that he made after Alek Manoah's most recent Florida Complex League start. Whoa! Time for your daily Betway breather. A quick reminder that the best place to bet is on Betway. Must be 19 years of age or older to play. In collaboration with iGaming Ontario, please bet responsibly. Now, back to the content. Manoah got absolutely lit up for 11 runs against a bunch of 18 and 19-year-olds, and Ross Atkins came out afterwards and said that he is comfortable with his progress and he fully expects him to be back with the team before the end of the season, which I think at this point a lot of Toronto Blue Jays fans are becoming increasingly skeptical of. And Blue Jays fans in general are just getting kind of fed up with this everything is fine attitude. Atkins was asked about the runners in scoring position problem, and he replied by saying, "Felt great the entire game. I felt like we've been playing better baseball recently. Felt like any moment we were gonna put 4 on the board and we just didn't. I think you keep putting yourselves in those situations, eventually you will." And okay, fair enough, but what about a little bit of accountability right now? We get a guy named Dave tweeting out they get shut out at home and waste a brilliant start by the best pitcher they've had in years, and GM felt great. No need to say more. Borner Bichette came out and tweeted Ross Atkins Blue Jays mission statement, feeling great despite failure and abysmal mediocrity. And honestly folks, I feel like everyone kind of has a point here. It's one thing to be optimistic, and that's great, but there comes a point where you do need to hold people accountable and you do need to be asking for more. The Toronto Blue Jays have the 6th highest payroll in the entire MLB, and even though we are just hanging on to the last playoff spot by a thread and are 4th in the division, apparently everything is fine. Guess we're just gonna have to wait and see how fine everything is at the end of the year. But folks, let me know what you think about all this in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and go Jays go!